Welcome to New Way Finance Academy. Today, we're venturing into the fascinating realm of universal basic income, often abbreviated as UBI. This concept, which proposes providing a set income to every citizen, regardless of employment status, has been gaining momentum in recent years. The aim? To address poverty and provide a safety net in an era of economic uncertainty. The chatter around UBI has been growing louder, fueled by pilot programs springing up from Baltimore to Yellow Springs, Ohio, and even endorsements from influential figures like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jack Dorsey. So why has this idea caught the public imagination? Stay tuned as we explore the evolution of UBI and why it's a critical topic for you. The idea of UBI isn't new. It's been around for centuries but has gained significant traction in recent years. The concept of a universal basic income, where every citizen receives a fixed, regular payment from the government, has roots as far back as the 16th century. Notably, English philosopher Thomas More proposed a form of basic income in his work Utopia. Fast forward to the 20th century and the idea began to gain more attention. Advocates such as Martin Luther King Jr. spoke out in favor of a guaranteed income as part of the solution to poverty. In his 1967 book, Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community?, King argued that a guaranteed income would abolish poverty and ensure economic stability. The first pilot programs testing the UBI concept emerged in the late 1960s and early 1970s. In the United States, the city of Gary, Indiana, launched a 4-year experiment in 1971, providing a basic income to over 1,000 families. Meanwhile, up north, the Canadian government conducted a similar experiment, known as the Mincome Project, in the province of Manitoba. Despite these early experiments, the idea of UBI remained largely on the fringes of political discourse for several decades. However, the tides began to turn in the 21st century. The rapid advancement of technology, coupled with growing concerns about income inequality and job security, began to spark renewed interest in UBI. As we moved into the 21st century, UBI began to gather momentum. The number of cities with UBI pilot programs increased significantly. From 11 in 2021, the number jumped to 82 in 2022, and by the end of 2023, hundreds of cities were experimenting with guaranteed basic income. This surge in interest and experimentation with UBI was not confined to just a few cities or countries. It became a global phenomenon, with pilot programs popping up in places as diverse as Finland, Kenya, and Brazil. As we stand at the dawn of 2024, it's clear that UBI is no longer a fringe idea, but instead a potential solution being seriously considered by nations worldwide. In recent years, UBI has moved from theory to practice in many places across the globe. Here in the United States, we've seen a significant uptick in the number of cities experimenting with universal basic income. This shift from a mere 11 cities in 2021 to an impressive 82 in 2022 showcases the growing interest in this concept. By December of 2023, hundreds of cities were testing out this bold idea, using pilot programs to measure the impact of UBI on their local communities. From bustling Baltimore to the quaint Yellow Springs in Ohio, the reach of these pilot programs has been both broad and diverse. These experiments have yielded promising results, showing potential benefits such as reduced poverty and increased financial stability for recipients. The success of these programs has sparked interest and endorsement from influential figures like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jack Dorsey. These tech giants have not only voiced their support, but also underscored the potential for widespread implementation of UBI programs on a national scale. This potential expansion is not just a speculative thought. Based on the rapid pace of UBI's adoption, it's quite possible that tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of Americans could be part of a UBI pilot program in the near future. However, the conversation surrounding UBI isn't just about reducing poverty. It's also about addressing other pressing issues such as health insurance for undocumented immigrants in California and the impact of UBI on housing affordability. As we navigate through the 21st century, universal basic income is set to play a crucial role in shaping the economic landscape. The rapid increase in UBI programs, recent endorsements by influential figures, and the ongoing effects of the COVID-19 pandemic are all contributing factors to this potential shift. The success of these programs has led to an explosion of interest in UBI. As we move forward, it's important to stay informed and prepare for potential economic changes. After all, 2024 could mark a significant shift towards a national UBI program. Tech giants like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jack Dorsey have also played a significant role in promoting UBI. These industry leaders have been vocal in their support for universal basic income, and their endorsements have not fallen on deaf ears. Elon Musk, the visionary behind Tesla and SpaceX, has repeatedly warned about the potential job losses due to automation and artificial intelligence. He believes that UBI could be a viable solution to this impending issue, providing a safety net for those displaced by technology. Musk's belief in UBI doesn't come from a place of idealism, but survival. He sees it as a necessary measure in an increasingly automated world. Similarly, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg perceives UBI as a means to foster creativity and innovation. During his Harvard commencement speech, he spoke about how a safety net could allow people to take more entrepreneurial risks, potentially leading to groundbreaking advancements. Twitter's Jack Dorsey shares a similar perspective. His belief in UBI stems from the concept of creating a more equitable society. Dorsey's commitment to UBI is evident in his philanthropy, with sizable donations made to various UBI pilot programs. These tech leaders' support for UBI isn't just talk. They are putting their money where their mouths are, funding studies and pilot programs, raising awareness, and influencing public opinion. Their endorsement lends credibility to the concept of UBI, making it less of a radical idea and more of a practical solution to modern-day issues. However, it's essential to note that while these tech giants' support is beneficial, the implementation of UBI should be carefully considered. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution and should be tailored to the specific needs and circumstances of each community. Moreover, while UBI can address some issues related to income inequality and job displacement, it shouldn't be viewed as a panacea. Other systemic issues like affordable healthcare and housing, quality education, and fair taxation also need to be addressed for a truly equitable society. The backing of these influential figures has undoubtedly helped to propel UBI into the mainstream conversation. Their continued advocacy for UBI could play a significant role in shaping its future, potentially making it a cornerstone of our social safety net. The COVID-19 pandemic has further spotlighted the idea of UBI. In a time of unprecedented global crisis, the fragility of our existing economic systems was laid bare. Millions lost their jobs, businesses shuttered, and financial security became a distant dream for many. The pandemic didn't just cause a health crisis. It caused an economic crisis and highlighted the stark income inequality that exists in our society. What became evident was the need for a safety net, a guaranteed income that could provide a level of security in uncertain times. This is where the concept of universal basic income stepped into the limelight. The idea of providing a guaranteed income to all citizens, regardless of their employment status, suddenly didn't seem so radical. It seemed necessary. Cities across the United States started experimenting with UBI, providing a fixed income to their residents as a response to the financial fallout from the pandemic. These programs showed promising results, with recipients reporting reduced financial stress and an improved quality of life. The success of these pilot programs has sparked a renewed interest in UBI as a viable solution to address income inequality and financial insecurity. Influential figures like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jack Dorsey have endorsed the idea of UBI, emphasizing the potential for a widespread implementation of such programs. They argue that a UBI could act as a buffer against the economic shocks that are becoming increasingly common in our rapidly changing world. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown us that our current economic systems are not equipped to handle large-scale crises. It's shown us the importance of having a safety net, of ensuring that every citizen has a guaranteed income that can provide them with a level of financial security. The pandemic has moved the conversation around UBI from the fringes to the mainstream, forcing us to seriously consider the possibility of a nationwide UBI program. As we move into a post-pandemic world, the conversation around UBI continues to evolve. With the lessons learned from the pandemic and the growing support from influential figures, the future of UBI looks promising. We're standing at the precipice of a significant shift in our economic system, a shift towards a more equitable and secure future for all. So, what does the future hold for UBI? As we've seen, the idea of universal basic income is gaining momentum across the United States. By the close of 2023, hundreds of cities had launched pilot programs to test the waters of this potentially transformative policy. But where does it go from here? Well, if the trends we've seen continue, it's possible that we'll witness an even more widespread adoption of UBI programs. What was once a radical idea is now being seriously considered as a viable solution to address poverty and economic inequality. And it's not just cities that are leading the charge. Influential figures from the tech industry such as Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jack Dorsey have thrown their weight behind UBI, suggesting a potential for nationwide implementation. Imagine, if you will, a future where tens, if not hundreds of millions of Americans are part of a UBI pilot program. It's a future where income security is a given, not a luxury. Where the stress of making ends meet doesn't constantly loom over households. It's a future where everyone has a financial safety net, allowing them to focus on personal growth, community involvement, and innovation. But this future isn't without its challenges. The path to national UBI will require significant thought and planning. Policymakers will need to address questions around funding, eligibility, and potential impact on the economy. And the public will need to be engaged in an ongoing conversation to ensure that such a policy truly serves the needs of all citizens. Yet, these challenges don't diminish the potential of UBI. Instead, they highlight the importance of thoughtful, informed dialogue and decision-making. The rapid increase in the number of UBI programs, the endorsements from influential figures, and the lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic all point towards a future where UBI could play a significant role in our society. While the future of UBI is still uncertain, what is clear is that the conversation around it is far from over. As we move forward, it's crucial that we continue to explore, debate, and refine the idea of universal basic income. Because at its core, UBI is about fostering a society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the early beginnings of UBI to its potential future. We've seen how this concept has grown from a handful of pilot programs to hundreds across the United States, backed by the likes of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. We've explored the influence of the COVID-19 pandemic and how it has accelerated the conversation around UBI. And we've looked ahead to what might be around the corner, as we stand on the brink of a potential national UBI program. As we navigate these changing tides, remember to stay informed and prepared for the economic shifts that may be on the horizon. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to New Way Finance Academy, and turn on notifications to stay updated on the latest in finance. Thanks for watching.